somewhere between about 20 and 50 trucks. A lot of owners notice something uncomfortable. People that work for them that used to be so sharp just don't seem like they are anymore. People who used to be so proactive and on top of things seem like they're just reactive and running behind all the time. And work that used to feel manageable just feels heavy. And that thought creeps in. Even if you don't say it out loud, it's, did I hire the wrong people? Do they just not care like they used to? If you've ever had that thought, this episode is for you. Because in most growing fleets, burnout isn't caused by bad people, it's caused by systems that just didn't keep up with growth. I hear this all the time, and it's a tough place to be. Welcome back to Driven for Success, the podcast for owners and executives of mid sized trucking fleets who want fewer headaches, better drivers, cleaner systems, and a whole lot less chaos in their business. I'm your host, Mike Ritzema, owner of Superior Trucking Payroll Service, where our mission is simple: help trucking families. On this show, we talk about the real problems that show up as fleets grow and how to solve them without burning yourself or your people out. Before we go any further today, let me frame what this episode is and what it is not. This episode is not about people being lazy. This isn't about back in my day, I used to work so much harder. And it's not a motivation talk. You can find those anywhere. It's a pattern I see over and over again in growing fleets, especially between about 20 and 50 trucks, where good, capable people start to feel overwhelmed, frustrated, and they just check out. And the mistake owners make at this stage is assuming the problem is the people, when in reality, the business has outgrown the way decisions and expectations are handled. What worked for you at 10 trucks does not work for you at 40 trucks. So, in this episode, I want you to see burnout differently, not as a character issue, but as a system signal. Because people that burn out, they leave and they're good people. And that's just going to make more problems for you and burn out more people. Okay, let's go back in time for you a little bit. At 10 or 15 trucks, effort hides a lot of problems. Everybody pitches in. You answer decisions quickly. Decisions are informal, but they work, and you can just brute force your way out of anything. At 30 or 40 trucks, that same approach just starts to break. Not because anyone got lazy, not because the number of decisions got less, it actually got a lot more, and the interruptions became more, and the edge cases just seemed to multiply. The work didn't necessarily increase, but the mental load did. And most teams are never told that the rules of the game were just changed. And part of that is because you don't go from 10 trucks to 40 trucks. You go from 10 to 11 to 12, maybe to 14, 16, 18, and so on. You didn't have 10 trucks yesterday and 40 trucks today. It would be easier to see if that were the case. But it's just little by little, we're stressing the system. So let's talk about burnout. Burnout doesn't show up as somebody quitting immediately. It shows up as more hesitation. It's more questions, more drop balls, less initiative. From your owner's seat, it can sound like they should know this by now. Why do I have to be involved in everything? I feel like I'm carrying everyone. But burnout isn't about hours work. It's about responsibility with clarity. When people care, they don't know what the right decision is anymore, they don't disengage. They just get tired. I've seen it in my own business. And usually, when people are stressed out and when they are having decision fatigue and when things start to seem like they're going to crack a little bit, it's the system that failed them, not the people. And it's an exhausting place to live for people that actually care. In growing fleets, good people usually burn out for three quiet reasons. First is decision fog. They don't know which decisions they own anymore. They don't know if they're even allowed to make any decisions. So they get in their own head and they hesitate or escalate everything. Everything comes to you or they just won't make a decision. Second is priority whiplash. What happened yesterday gets replaced by today's fire. And unless you're a fireman or woman, you don't want to be putting out fires. It just adds so much weight to everything. After a while, people stop trying to get ahead and just try to survive the day. Then the third is invisible standards. No one knows what good looks like. They're guessing, and guessing all day is exhausting and incredibly unproductive. And unfortunately, it means that you as the owner probably aren't clear. But if this sounds familiar, don't worry, you are not alone. Most owners go through this. If you're an owner who never had to go through this, I'd love to have you on the show because it happens to so many people. And this is where a lot of owners get stuck. They start thinking the solution is more pressure or better attitudes or hiring stronger people. But ownership doesn't come from pressure. It comes from clear lanes and clear expectations and clear communication about what they're supposed to do. When people know what decisions are theirs, the trade offs matter, and what success looks like, that happens. Burnout drops. Even when the work is hard, burnout still drops. And that's amazing because now everybody's going in the same direction and they all know what they're supposed to do. This is where your systems actually protect your people. Uh, if you want to think about it in sports terms, I love sports analogies. You have a football team, you have the offense, right? And so if the wide receiver knows what they need to do on that play, they need to, run 5 yards and cut in, or they know they need to block because the running back's running their way. Uh, it makes it easier for them. They don't have to worry about, do I need to go block or do I need to go run a pattern? They know exactly what they have to do. And then the execution happens, hopefully. So here's one thing you can do this week. Think about one person on your team, just one, that feels overwhelmed right now. And ask yourself, what decisions do they make repeatedly? The decision keeps coming and coming and coming. Where do they hesitate? What do they bring to me that probably shouldn't need my involvement? And wherever you see this confusion or hesitation, that's not a motivation problem. That's the system telling you where it's missing. That is how the problems bubble up before they become huge problems. If somebody's making a decision repeatedly, maybe we can have a system that they don't have to make that decision anymore. And if they hesitate, maybe they're not sure if they're supposed to make that decision or not. And maybe they don't have parameters for how much they can do. It happens all the time, and it's one of the things that you can easily gloss over in the moment. Oh, we're just having a bad day. But those bad days stack up. So you really want to be aware of that. And again, you don't need to fix everybody today. You should fix everybody eventually, but find one person and go through this analysis and figure out where the systems are failing them. And then fix them. And once you fix them, you'll see the change in the employee almost immediately. If this episode felt uncomfortably accurate, that's actually a really good sign. It means you care about your people, and it means your business has reached a stage where effort alone cannot carry the day. It's not failure, it's growth. It's because of your success that you're here. In the next episode, we're going to talk about what owners should stop measuring and what actually matters instead, because measurement is often what quietly reinforces bad systems. If this episode was helpful, pass it along to another owner or leader who's trying to reduce chaos and build something sustainable for their trucking company. And if you're enjoying these conversations, subscribe to Driven for Success so you don't miss future episodes. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.